Systems report 415 on New City Avenue in the Quincy Canal.
Great. Police. For fuck's sakes.
Suspect doing 80 miles per hour on South Rockford Drive.
Good Lord above.
Dispatch, we got a visual on the perp in pursuit.
Well, I'll be a monkey sucker.
Dispatch, we have a suspect on a motorcycle.
Roger.
Leave it. Ow.
Suspect westbound in southern Palmville Hills.
Dispatch, suspect is on a motorcycle.
Roger that.
me a break.
We're in pursuit.
Suspect southbound on a black motorbike.
Don't move him up.
Hello, person. How's it going? If you want to message me, you can.
I'm alive!
Yeah, I actually tried it. I tried it last time, and it was funny. So I wanted to do it again, a little bit. So yeah. And it's also to not die. You have to glance below them. Like you have to immediately turn to the side, like you're trying to dodge them, but still hit them, and clip them by the leg, or something like that. But that's basically what I guess you have to do and not die. But yeah, you can totally die. I guess it's kind of trying to be realistic or something, or whatever, or not even, but I mean, what's going on? I got drunk last night and did some stuff, so that was fun. I get passionate about stupid things, not stupid things, but I say stupid things because I immediately tell people how I feel about an issue. Sometimes. I didn't get really drunk. I got kind of buzzed, so. Nah, it's like I kind of decided a long time ago that I didn't want handouts, so I just I know that the panhandling is illegal in New Orleans, but they don't really enforce it a lot. So like they say it's illegal, and it is illegal, but no, it's more like it's more like I kind of want them to. It's not like I think that they gave up on their life or something like that. It's just like that when I'm at that point sometimes, because I've been at that point. I kind of feel as though I've given up a little bit, and I have to get back to where I once was, I guess, or where I once tried to be, I guess, and I kind of. It's like tragedy motivates me in a way, so you know. But also too, I kind of yeah, it's like it's a different way of thinking about it. They could have specific kind of like post-traumatic disorders, and that's the reason why society. I don't think society gave up on them. I think a group of people gave up on them, and they decided to call that society, I guess. So I mean, it's a two-way street, I guess. But also too, I mean, I'm not blaming that person or anything like that. But I'm saying that that if that person didn't want to give up on themselves, then I think that if they would have pushed through some sort of what's the word, tribulation or whatever, and realized that it was just some asshole trying to make them feel bad about like some stuff that happened a long time ago, or someone trying to blame the innocents for being guilty before they meet them or before they know them, I guess. Then it depends on how much power they have, and it depends on how much time, because people's careers are in jeopardy sometimes, and I think that people have to act fast, I guess, within justice or something like that, swift justice sometimes, and take out the people who are saying stupid shit or are being stupid, in order to be able to validate the people that are now homeless, I guess, because of certain government organizations and stuff like that. I mean, people get traumatized too, and they start to blame everyone. So yeah, that's cool. I mean, I'm in control of my feelings as well. I mean, but and I mean, those are all things that I do believe sometimes. But I didn't say stupid things. I stand by my beliefs. I stand by the things that I say when I'm buzzed or when I'm a little bit out of it. But in the same sense, I think that I don't have to say it so abruptly or so with such vigor, I guess. So I just don't stand by the tone of voice that I have whenever I'm on a rant or something like that. And most of the times I do rant because I'm bored, and and you know, boredom is whatever. It's an old saying that has to do with religion, and I don't believe in religion. So, but understandably so, there is common sense within sometimes people's belief systems. So, not really ranting on that or raving on that. I'm just saying that within a certain belief system, if people are good, then people are usually good for the long run, I guess. And they come up with different allegories and different things like that, like don't sleep in a den full of lions, or what's the word? And I think that's like, it has a lot to do with society, I guess, too. I've actually read the Bible, and I've read the Quran a little bit, but I've mostly read Buddhist teachings too, and kind of realized the philosophy, and also the philosophy behind my fighting style, which is the slow way, judo. So, but also I realized I get frustrated with the slow way, and I realized that my style sometimes is more like jujitsu. I want to get shit done. But there's always time to wait, so. Like, I want people to stop being homeless and start being able to be covered by certain governmental systems. You know, that kind of stuff. So, but also too, I think the same way that and oh man, it's just Well, I mean, I know that that there's a couple of people that used there's a couple people in my in my dad's groups that went down that road, and he had to kind of stop hanging out with them. Well, I mean, that's where homelessness can lead. I mean, it can lead there. It really can. That's where it can really change your life. It really can. It can really change the way that you look at society and find out different things. I think I should have a little bit more of an educated talk about that stuff, not just the way that I believe things passionately, or the way that I was completely
Citizens report.
What's the word? Buzzed. Not plastered, not buzzed, but buzzed. Not quite plastered. Not quite buzzed, but buzzed. Yeah, but that's cool, dude. We can talk about that if you want. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of people that are functional drug users and stuff like that. It's that's kind of actually whatchamacallit, it's really stupid because in a certain sense, sometimes they don't realize what they're doing to themselves, I guess. And also, I really think that, and also there's a functional meth users as well. I've noticed, I've literally hung out with people who did meth for like some odd years sometimes, and they're not shy about talking about it or anything like that. They're just like, well, whatever, I did it, and or I didn't do it, but they did it, and not because I'm judging them, but because I don't want to mess up my teeth, and I know I did my research basically, and I noticed what it can actually do to people and their faces with their stuff like that. I'm really vain, so I really have a thing. No, I'm actually not really vain. I'm kind of unshallow sometimes, but I realize that I realize what it can do to you over a certain period of time. It can make you paranoid. It can make you you basically not hang out with your friends because of fear of like your friends finding out that you do that, and then as you start to hang out with people, they start to realize that you are doing that, and it's like, it sucks, man. It really does suck. It's just like, and also people can be judgmental sometimes too, because they don't realize what other people are going through, and they're like, well, if he's doing that, then he's not my friend, you know, sort of thing. And like it's kind of like, you know what? If you're gonna say that, then you weren't really friends with him to begin with, you know? Like you kind of were just like, y'all were kind of just hanging out, I guess. Well, yeah. I mean, I could have become an alcoholic as well, but I'm more like, I kind of am trying to stop one of my friends from becoming an alcoholic. I've tried a lot sometimes to be able to stop people from becoming certain things, but also to in the same sense, I've like, I can't judge them because I've had my nights sometimes where I've like, not my nights, but I've had like maybe a few nights of like maybe like throwing up a warm beer out the window because I've had maybe just a few too many, and or like throwing up stomach acid, I guess. And I've had a bunch of nights, but also too, I'm in my 20s, or I was in my 20s, and I think that that I'm a better person because I stopped doing those things. Yeah, it is, but also too, don't judge that person in future endeavors. You know, I mean, I don't try to judge those people and sort of things because I realize that it's not the way, it's not that. Yeah, Knob Creek, nice. It's not like you have to judge that person, and you can't judge that person in future endeavors because it's like a catch-22 sometimes when that person is son of a bitch. I was trying to get out of there. Yeah, you can't specifically say like oh, I never liked you or something like that. It's like, no, y'all had your moments. It's just well, there are certain specific situations that kind of adhere to that. I actually sometimes go more to someone who is a little bit more sometimes manipulative, I guess. I have friends that are manipulative sometimes, but other than that, it's like I've been with them for so long, and I've like one friend I've had since high school, and he can peer pressure me into drinking a little bit too much, or I've had a few different situations where he's been like, drink this or have fun or something like that, but it's not like. But it's like I realized that I didn't need to have that, and he doesn't force me to do anything. He's more like, oh, okay, cool, and then he just stops. So. Yeah, it's really nice, I think, and also too, don't try to judge the people who judge you for having that, because maybe they had a situation where they like had their mom or their dad or maybe a good friend like that they trusted, like basically stole from them or fucked them over or something like that, and so people can be more afraid or have a stigma of what that means, I guess, rather than just whatchamacallit, they can be, it's like you're not blaming the person, you're blaming the addiction, basically, for those things, and I think that sometimes what people can get to, or what people can find, is that if you don't blame the person, or if you don't blame the person but you blame the addiction, you start to adhere these other things to what addiction means to you. It's like, oh my god, he's gonna steal all your stuff, or oh, he's gonna well, yeah, through thick and thin, I think. And I mean, when I'm friends with someone, I'm not just friends with them casually, you know. I try to be there for them sometimes, and even if they're just going through something like messed up or stupid, then I'm gonna try to make them laugh, or I'm gonna try to make them and that's just me, I guess. Even if I find someone on the street like bawling their eyes out crying, I'm still gonna try to like make them laugh or something like that, I guess. Kind of like a modern day non-invasive clown, because I don't put makeup on and try to like do balloon animals, I guess, or assume that they want to pay attention to me. I just make a funny quip, move along my way, you know. Try to make people have a better day, you know. And also too, whenever I'm talking and like to like the void or whatever, I am like switching up variants so many times, like the variations of people that I'm actually talking to. Like last night. Yeah, I mean, you can, but I mean, like, moreover, I think that if you're too walking on eggshells sometimes with people, I think that and also, I mean, I don't like say like I say a non-invasive joke, like I say like stupid stuff, what did the interrupting cow, like, let's say, knock knock, who's there, the interrupting cow who, and then they say it, and then I just do the interrupting cow, because it's funny, and I don't do the interrupting Monsanto, that would be stupid. that also would be a little bit more demented, but maybe funny if people had a darker sense of humor, but I don't have but yeah, just the interrupting cow, not the interrupting Monsanto. And also, usually I do gauge their yeah, I know. There's people that do that, but also too, you have to realize that there's a hefty majority of people that don't. You have to realize that, I guess. And like whenever I would give, or if ever I gave a homeless person a ride, I'm not gonna drive off with their shit. I mean, that's kind of fucked up a little bit. But also too, it's not like I want to go back to that area of me living, because I was constantly on edge Like that's something that homelessness does to you sometimes. It makes you worry about the little things way too much, and also too you should be worrying about those things constantly sometimes. But understandably so, you shouldn't. What's the word? You shouldn't. You should realize that it's a consequence, but not constantly. Succumb to those fears, I guess. You know, like you should realize that it's a consequence of something. Like, it's fucked up. People do fucked up shit to people who think that they have no recourse against them, or recourse or action. But as soon as that person finds out their license plate number, they can figure out who bought that car by just going to their local police officer, or saying something, say like, and say that this person stole my groceries, and then they can find a lawyer, usually pro bono, that actually will usually do that. But over time, and it's like their business, you know. It's like there's insurance sometimes, so it's like that's usually the reasons why people should start investing in their community sometimes, because it really does give back, and it is a form of insurance sometimes that people don't actually look into. And whenever I find that, and also there are people out there that actually do care. Like if there are people out there that abuse the system, I guess. Shit. What do you mean, karma? Oh, yeah. Okay. Got him. Okay, I gotta hurry up and run back. God damn it, I didn't realize there was a second one. You're a firm believer in what? And no, I don't think anyone's actually a genius. The more they think they know, the more they realize that they're I'd say like giving into a certain form of what the world has for them, and not actually seeing the entire picture of something. So, oh, karma? Yeah, I do believe in karma. I don't believe in the concept of what people actually do to themselves. I actually believe that people themselves, if they're guilty or if they do stuff that's stupid, what they eventually do is they start focusing on that so much that they start to give whatchamacallit, they start to give too much attention to those details, and they basically ruin themselves, I guess. And I gotta turn this down, because I think guilt, has a lot to do with stuff, and I think that it's a real emotion, or it's a real reactionary emotion. And within those reactionary emotions, I think that people can find within those reactionary emotions, I think that people can find themselves kind of like thrown to the wolves, or basically thrown to a society or a system that they themselves tried to push down, I guess, and tried to say that didn't exist. Because the more we say things don't exist, I guess, the more like I'd like to say that God doesn't exist, but I'd say that there's a universal force. I'd say I'm agnostic, so I still believe in a higher power, but not really like one that's actually a uniform form, or like a universal form, I guess. You know, I don't really like. Shit, I'm gonna get that freaking motorcycle over here. But yeah, so within that sense, I don't believe in just karma, but I believe in actions and reactions. And like when two objects become a part of, or when two objects react to one another, those two objects basically trade atoms, I guess, in some ways. and those two objects are related until one party decides that it's not related, or until one party tries to until one yeah, it's like yeah, it's like I'm not making any sense right now, but it's all right. But yeah, okay, cool. You too, man, and enjoy your streaming, watching. Well, I think what you needed to realize is that you weren't believing in a higher power. You were believing in yourself sometimes, and I think that a lot of people think that they need to forgive themselves, or they need to get what they believe their God to be is to forgive themselves, or to forgive themselves. It's like the more you believe in a higher power, the more you start to realize that you're trying to give yourself credit a little bit. And I think that a lot of religions, they are basically just therapy sometimes for people who have gotten into hard situations. But also too, I think that using that crutch, or that ability to forgive yourself through some sort of major some sort of major belief, I guess, or belief system, or belief in some sort of imaginary something. I don't believe in just. I believe that basically what Death Do was saying was kind of true, but as far as believing in an entity itself, and not just rules, I guess, because I mean it's like instead of one entity, I believe in kind of a council of entities, and those entities manifest themselves as rules. So, and as rules in our universe, basically. And I think that the way that you can break down any belief system, I guess, is by saying that, oh, it doesn't matter, or that doesn't you don't care anymore, or something like that. It's like, yeah, I stopped caring about the people in religion too. I stopped caring so hard about them, because they were literally just like everything the Bible was. They believed in the entire Bible. If they believed in the devil, they believed in Jesus and God. And if they believed in God, then they believed in the devil and whatever. And also, too, they believed in the Holy Trinity, like Legend of Zelda. And I don't really believe in Zelda that much, because I realized that it was fake. Not to say that it is fake, because in a universe where there are all full of ideas, possibly thinking that there are so many existences that actually exist. Probably. It might. No, actually, I'm trying to go into the military base and steal the jet. Yeah. That's what basically I'm trying to do. But every single time I see the jet, there are two people in front of there. So I'm actually trying to steal the jet. That's basically what I do almost every time that I try to, almost every time that I'm in this game. Yes. There we go, hopefully. Clipped him with Muling. Awesome, yeah.
You have entered Fort Zancudo airspace. Divert immediately.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. It never works the first time, because they always have a peg on me. But I don't know. I guess I got to slingshot myself by going up, I guess. But yeah, that's basically what I do most of the time, unless I'm going into a lobby and everyone's leaving it. So, and I'm actually talking about like pertinent topics and stuff like that, and people are just like, "What the fuck is this dude talking about?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm a prick sometimes. It's fun. Do it for laughs." But yeah, one of the reasons I stopped, because so many people told me I was going to hell. So yeah, it's like the judgment of other people is like supposed to be the judgment of their God, I guess. But understandably so. It's like I imagine that God existing and just being like, "What the fuck is this douche talking about?" That's what I think about sometimes. It's just like, And just like, if that God ever existed, why the fuck would he even think about this fucking douchebag who constantly judges people for like nothing, for really nothing. Like it really, like it's like you insinuate that you're having sex out of wedlock, and people are just like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. But in the same sense, they have the right to be able to believe that, because I think that people, when they're forced to believe something, or when they're forced to go into something, it kind of, and I'm a patriot at heart. I really am. I love believing in stuff, and I love believing in stuff that people, I like breaking down people's beliefs without invasively telling them off or telling them that their God doesn't exist. Because if I just shoved them off like that, what would stop another person from doing that same thing to me? You know, like, I mean, I could just say your God doesn't exist, and it's like, okay, yeah, your God doesn't exist in my eyes, but what if he does? Whatever, who gives a shit? I have a nonchalant way of looking at religion, and because I know that all of them decided to be somewhat evil and somewhat good, so they all use excuses to be able to do evil things, you know. And also, that's the human condition itself, because you do an evil thing to actually protect a good person. You know, do you do a bad thing to be able to protect someone who's actually trying to do something with their life? So it's kind of like it's the human condition, basically, to me, or at least in my personal opinion. So, and also I used to, and after I turned about 25 or 26, I started to stop caring about the reasons why I gave up on religion, and just realized that I gave up on it. I didn't give up on it because of anyone else. I gave up on it because I saw within myself the reason for what I wanted to believe in, and I stopped believing, and I stopped trying to care about what I didn't believe in, and more about what I did. So and I realized that's kind of like what not just America is, but the world kind of is, if you think about it. Yeah, I realized that when I turned my 20s, though, my mid-20s, about something like that, I kind of started to realize that it's not about basically judging people for what they believe in or how they believe that I will do anything, because the more that I realized that, those people were younger than me sometimes, or people were older than me that didn't understand where they stood in life sometimes, or basically they were just trying to come up with a reason to be able to think about something other than their depressing lives. I guess some people do that. Some people try to judge people because they're depressed, and that's not what religion is about. And I know that's not what religion is about, but that's not the reason why. That's not the reason why I continue to not believe in religion. Because if that was the only reason, then I probably would have gone back to it. But I felt as though that I had to be responsible for my own beliefs, instead of just being responsible for what other people believed in me. So yeah. I'm a pagan because I believe in the people that actually founded our language, or founded basically Latin and different other languages that actually are the origination of English, Spanish, a whole bunch of different other things like that. I believe in that stuff because the symbols they made kind of turned into our letters. So, and that's I think a little bit more patriotic than what people might actually find out, because they did rituals, and yes, they did rituals sometimes where they sent off what they would think of a spirit, but that's based in Christianity, actually. All those rituals and things like that are based in Christianity, and that's the reason why, is because people believe in the soul, or believe in a vessel, or believe in the energy, or believe in something that you send someone off, or actually you try to make peace with what the spirit is, for fear of vengeance of a virus or anything like that. Or it's like, I found that what people actually need to do is create better instances of what life is now, of how the human body itself retracts such information to be able to damn it, I made it up. Moving on up. But yeah, there are so many different types of sciences that actually that I have a stake in sometimes. Not really have a stake in, but I have an emotional stake in, and I want to see where it goes. So it's like people can say that they want to. Shit. All right, where am I going now? I'm gonna go and do a mission, I think. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are still going through those phases that aren't in teenager years. You know, there's a lot of people that still haven't gone through those feelings, and actually like realize those feelings because they're in a serious tizzy, or they're in a fucked up situation like Syria and a whole bunch of different places. They start to realize that their relationship with their God isn't going to keep them in good standings with people around them. Because they think that in some ways, or they try to realize in some ways that whatchamacallit, or maybe they realize, or they try to think that they never had a good standing with God, and also that in itself kind of can break down the ideological world that people, I'd say, live in. But also too, in the same sense, should that be broken down to be able to make them realize that there are other people in the world and that they're not the only ones, and some people actually believe that through peace and through things like that other places will just vanish and they'll be the ones on top, basically the ones that are being paid attention to, and because they believe in a better God, or they believe in a something God, and that's what they believe sometimes. I'm not saying that that's a wrong thing. I'm just saying that that's borderline what's the word? It's borderline marginalism of other races, you know? It is. It really is. And there are so many other places that actually or so many other people that actually believe in I'd say violent religions sometimes. Not just Satanism or anything like that, but I'd say things that are people that are that basically were born from war, or were born from a terrible consequence or something, and I think that has a lot to do with where people stand sometimes, and within those bounds, I think they can stand and basically they basically make up their own religion as they go along sometimes. And that's where you get some sort of groups like ISIS sometimes, as people who elaborate on one religion and say that they believe in a whole bunch of different other stuff. And then people can say that, oh, they created, the Democrats or the Republicans or whatever created this ISIS. And it's like, you don't create groups. It's like you may motivate them in some way, shape, or form, but you can't do that from what's the word? You can't do that from a distance. You have to be up close, and I think the only people that have actually been that have to realize that people have to realize have been getting that stuff is, I'd say, in some ways, the political agenda sometimes, because what people don't really understand is the military, the U.S. military, will try to protect us from ourselves, but also too, in the same sense, they will protect us from any other governmental situation that is trying to take over ours, like socialism, for example. I believe that within a certain governmental sphere, it is applicable within a business, or within a sister or a brother business, to be able to share assets, but also in the same sense, if you do too much or too frequently, then it's considered money laundering. it's like literally most of the things that we do here, or most of the things that we do in this specific
Start, you turd.
in that specific that realm is literally considered a crime. And also that's the way that our government works. And if you're not ready for that government, then I'd say, I mean, you don't have to stay here, you know? You don't have to be in a certain area, you know? I'm not saying that you have to leave or get out. I'm just saying that if you don't like the way that things are going, then try living somewhere else. Because I mean, I'm not gonna harbor any bad feelings towards those people, but also too, I'm not gonna sit and wonder what another government works like, because no other government ever does that to us. So. Yeah, I mean, it's like they both believe in a devil, or they both believe in a they both believe in a devil, or they both believe in a god. Basically, what are you eating? What are you eating, Bo? What are you eating? Calm down, Bo. Stop trying to eat shit. God damn it. But yeah, that's basically. I mean, if you don't like the way that people do things, if you don't like the nonchalant way that people sometimes treat religion, sometimes because of the fact is that it's outdated, and people have their own elaborations on what they believe religion is, or how they choose to see religion. Sometimes they choose to see it as a metaphor, and they call themselves a Christian. Sometimes they choose to see every story as a metaphor, and they call themselves like devout Christians, but they are a metaphorical devout Christian. So there's so many different kinds of people that actually do believe in religion that don't actually take it completely seriously. So you have to understand is I literally went to freaking Bible school and a whole bunch of different other stuff like that. Like I went to Bible study and Bible camp or whatever. Not really Bible camp, but Bible study. I went to a lot of Bible studies, and people actually did have some good theories about it sometimes. And and in the same sense, they sort of started to believe in themselves more, because they realized that the more they talked about it, the more they talked about themselves. And that's good too. So there's therapy in pretty much everywhere you go. You have to realize that that within feeling good about yourself, or making sure that I just ran underneath that car. Feeling good about yourself is good, even if you ritualistically sacrifice animals that you're gonna eat. You know? And I don't really care. It's like, I really don't. It just doesn't matter to me. I believe in what I believe in sometimes. I believe in like a certain type of alchemy, and dried goods can be reupholstered with just water. Not reupholstered, reinvigorated with just water. So I believe in science mostly, but alchemy is a part of science. So that's basically what alchemy is. It's not like all you saw in like Brotherhood, whatchamacallit, Full Metal Alchemist or something like that. It's not all that, but also too, in some chemicals and stuff like that, can actually create a you can create a wall, basically. Like you can create a brick, like literally a hard brick substance, and if you had enough like of a line or something like that, it will be hard for people to actually get through it, because there are atoms that and things that you can make, like literally, like I think that this is going to be in the future, and I think that's going to be cool, like one of the coolest inventions ever, is a wall, it's like a portable wall basically, or basically a portable wall. You run a line of like really thin sheet metal, liquid sheet metal there. You light it with a fuse or a wire, and it turns into a wall. And that's basically the alchemy is the reaction of basically everything. It's supposed to be the chemical reaction that everyone calls it, the chemical reaction. That's basically what alchemy is, and also the reaction between different elements and stuff like that. So it's like, it's really cool that there is like actual alchemy, and that's pretty cool. That there's like tractor beams and a whole bunch of different other stuff like that. That actually excites me a lot, because Yeah, it is. It's really cool. It's really cool. But also too, the way they take it, the way they'll take it into like the new age and actually do shit that they saw on Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood or any other one. Like basically just put your hand on a wall because you activated your hand with a chemical itself, with a chemical or a foundation of a chemical, and also too you added a filament basically, which is like something that you strike against a wall or a rock and it makes a spark. Basically, like you could take a toothpaste container, run it across a wall, and literally make a different wall, like so where people can't follow you, or people will have a hard time following you if they punch a hole through it. It's really it's like the coolest thing that I could possibly even think of, and it's actually possible, which is really cool, because you can the way that chemicals jut out between each other, like if you add what's the word, if you add water to a certain chemical, basically what it does is it juts out and it creates an explosion or something like that, or not an explosion but an implosion within itself, and then creates new matter, I guess, or not creates new matter, but it's already got matter, but it creates a different kind of matter, and I think that's what they're basically trying to say. And I think the way that scientists build with new elements and stuff like that, or not new elements, but with the way they build with old and recently discovered elements, is they're gonna be able to make like just the coolest fucking shit. It's gonna be cool. Like, it's gonna be so awesome. And that's basically the reasons why I'm so captivated sometimes with America, is because we do amazing shit, or they do amazing shit, and I get to watch. So and I think that the more amazing shit that there is, the more ability that for private companies to be able to be like, wow, I want to make that, and then for them to be able to have the facilitation and be like, hey, can I make this? Is there a problem with us making this? And they're like, well, no, not really. And but if you do make it, and you make it for a military application, then we're gonna have to commandeer it. I mean, obviously, but like, you're not gonna be able to build and that's the reason why sometimes people get raunchy about stuff, or like I can't make what I want to. It's like, but yeah, if you're making bombs in your basement, dude. It's like, yeah, of course, the Unabomber and a whole bunch of different people like that. It's like they made it harder for people to be able to make what they wanted, how they wanted to. But in a certain sense, they also made it easier for people to make invasive stuff, like a non-invasive surgery or something like that, to be able to help someone's life or something. It's like places and things like that are like, and if you make it in a cheap manner, it's like mass producing it is probably doing one thing, but doing one experiment is probably, I'd say, like $20. But you have to make it and realize that basically all medical supplies sometimes is mostly profit, because of the non-invasive ways that they use it, and the non-invasive things that they use, and the amount of the non-invasive things that they use, like mostly plastics, and they use molds and different things like that. Oh shit, god damn it. But I'm going to see if I can go to H, but I'm going the long way around, and I'm probably going to get another car. There are a lot of different ways to actually think about different things, and the ways that people actually realize that those fictional worlds could become like absolute reality if like I'd say, like all those conflicts and stuff like that. Like it's a real I'd say it's a real reality when people themselves decide that they're going to not listen to what the recommendations of a certain government that they live in, sort of thing. Because you don't know sometimes the stuff that you do. Like, you don't know sometimes the stuff. It's like that whole thing when those movies start. It's like I said in another episode, it's like being able to control and dispose of dead things or broken projects in a specific manner. It's like you can't throw away your TV. It's like they won't accept it. Like they literally won't accept it on whatchamacallit, they'll accept the pieces of it without the filament, but they have to realize that every single time they add another flammable thing to their landfills or anything like that, or their compost or whatever they're doing, they're literally creating another wildfire, literally 20 to 30 years down the road. It's like every single oil can or oil filter that has limited amounts of oil still in it. You're creating basically 20 to 30 years down the road, or even 30 to 40 years down the road, or even 100 years down the road. You're creating the formula to be able to set literally massive amounts of land on fire. And I think that's a lot of times what happened to California. It's in itself. It's like we didn't like back in the day, we didn't have those ways to be able to dispose of those kinds of things. It's like there was oil everywhere and freaking trains and a whole bunch of different shit, and people built on a whole bunch of different stuff and constantly tried to it's like that's the reason why California sets on fire so freaking often sometimes. It's because we didn't have the ways to dispose of so many different chemicals and things, and sometimes people know that and they take advantage of it and they flick their cigarette out, or they do a campfire and they don't realize that those embers still burn, or it's like people not disposing of shit properly. So I mean, it's like within those things, I think that people need to realize that that the more they push through certain avenues and realize that how responsible or irresponsible they're being, they really need to realize that I want to get that motorcycle.
I just whacked this puppy.
I shot at his light. God damn it. Didn't get him. Oh well. But yeah, that's the reason why I think that like I've studied a lot of that stuff, and I've noticed that there are like serious correlations between booms in population and the way that we dispose of shit, like, and the way that their metropolitan areas are, and it literally is shit sometimes. So, or most of the time it is shit, actually. So, yay, motorcycle. I'm gonna try to see, I'm gonna get off on this exit, so I go into the H. But yeah, that's basically the reasons why I try to be more responsible, and I don't throw away TVs, because my landlord's like, why don't you just let the people come pick it up? And I'm just like, they can't technically pick it up. They literally can't. Like, you have to send a specialist to come take apart your TV, and then put that TV into the garbage for you, or just pieces of that TV, and then collect filament, or collect a certain type of filament, because that's what happened in the old times. That's the reason why sometimes people don't move out to California, is because they know what people did to the land, and it sucks, but there was oil everywhere, and it actually went into the groundwater, and once it goes into the groundwater, it can still be flammable literally hundreds of years later. Hundreds and thousands of years later. Hundreds of thousands of years later. So, the more I try to, like, let people know that, that things can actually happen, and people don't really know why no one wanted to move to California, or no one wants to move to California sometimes. It's just, it's like because it's like it was and is a landfill sometimes, and it catches on fire because of what people threw away literally hundreds of years ago.
I'm gonna be right here in the garbage truck blocking the roadway.
And it maybe a lot of different people had a lot to do with that, like the Vikings themselves.
They pull right up in front of you. When they
the people
do,
that built fires and did a bunch of stuff, and oil companies today. So
after the hit, we blast open the doors, grab up all
it's the reason why it's so hard to be able to get rid of gas, or it's the reason why when you see those dudes getting those oil fields, they immediately set those motherfuckers on fire. It's because the more they set it on fire, the more it gets curated, and the less it actually saturates into the soil. That's the reason why that pit of fire, or the gate to hell, is still burning, because of literally hundreds of years of people throwing in flammable liquids. People can say it's like, oh my god, it's an emotional thing, or it's like a yeah, all right, cool, but
let's do this.
But yeah, that's basically what happens.
Let's go, let's go.
But yeah, that's basically what I kind of see from hundreds of years of people actually existing on this kind of piece of land, basically. I don't find everyone to be like karmatic or anything like that, or I find the fact that you ate that fucking wrapper of goddamn paper from McDonald's and you threw it away in the trash, not knowing that that landfill didn't have the regulations it was supposed to have, and literally there's a shit ton of like carbon paper fucking literally there's a shit ton of carbon paper just littered across a field. What do you think that field is gonna do once it starts to actually start drying out? It's like, do you think that field of carbon paper is gonna fucking just light up like a goddamn candle and just keep burning because it's an eternal flame, or it's gonna burn like a fucking goddamn napalm? Because that's what it'll do. It'll burn like napalm. It'll burn like napalm. That's what happens to those little filament papers from those from the
All right, I pulled up. Get ready, Frank.
Yeah, that's basically like, I mean, that's basically the reasons for those wildfires right now.
Sanitation aren't meant to be here.
But basically that's the reason why I decided that I was going to stop believing in religion and start believing in environmental stuff, and realized that there was a lot of different things that people actually believed in, and I think that the way to facilitate those beliefs is to be able to understand that that we're all here for a reason. We're all here for a reason, and the reasons why is because
Back away from the bomb, F. Everyone out, let's go! On the ground now! Move it! Like fucking years!
but yeah, that's the reason why I decided that
The alarm's been tripped. The cops will be swarming here.
it's the reason why I decided not to believe in religion anymore, because they were destroying the world just as much as everyone else. So
Looks like they hit their panic button. Half the LSPD incoming.
Yeah, you're covered by those barriers there. I'll be up here.
Fuck. Fall back. We'll never get out of here. We gotta hold position.
Hey man, we sitting ducks right here.
oh my god, I didn't run with the rest of them, so that's what happens from my indiscretions. Basically, running a country is so goddamn hectic and so basically everything can go on fire at any moment because of the amount of trash that we actually do consume and the amount of things that we actually throw away every day. So no matter what you believe, it's like that shit still exists, man. It's like if everyone wants to be in a lake of fire, then damn, you know, it's not gonna be a lake, but it's definitely gonna be on fire. Yeah, they flank you a lot in this mission. Yeah, thank you, man, for telling me. I didn't really notice that.
I'll be up here with a rifle.
Oh, I gotta stay right here, don't I?
All right, we hold the top. Make a play when we see a window.
Hey, this gonna be a nasty motherfucker, man.
Yeah, I got your back. Just let me know.
I'm up here watching over you boys. Well, one of you more than the other.
Hey, it's them or us. We put these cops down and we move on.
Hey guys, I got a visible gun up here in case you need me to wade in.
Hey, they coming from behind, down the alleyway.
If those cops get up the alley, you're overrun.
Yeah, I'm here to help.
Tony, me too. Right up here. Just hold on. Hold back.
Yeah.
Clear.
Thank you for trying to help me. Ah, shit! I should have done that. Should have shot the friggin' gas tank. Oh well. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to make people see that.
What was the name of that orange thing that you make that smells so good?
The orange thing. Oh, the ruby red orange.
Ruby red orange.
It's a ruby red orange. It is. That's what it is. It's like, it looks like a grapefruit, but it's like it just says ruby on it. So. And also too, once you realize that that the compost itself is extremely flammable in some ways, is the reasons why some people actually can't do that stuff unless you have a license to grow and a whole bunch of different other things. And that's the reason why people have licenses and everything like that. So I'm at a minute nine. I'm not a minute. An hour and 9 minutes. And thanks for staying with me, Genius at Work, and thank you for talking with me about other stuff. Death Do. You are your own one-man bomb squad, and the more you realize that people have problems every day, the more you'll realize that you can solve them every day, or at least they can solve them every day. Or the more people get empowered, the more people will be able to take care of tasks that they wouldn't normally take care of. And I realize that people need to take care of their tasks every day, and they need to realize that what?
Where did you get that ruby red? Was that from Rouse's?
Yeah, it was Rouse's. Yeah, but yeah,
Grandma wants one.
it's basically what I wanted to do is
Don't you need to go to the doctor?
thank you, man. And I do try to talk about stuff that I can actually relate to, and that's the reason why I don't want to. It's not like I'm being like facetious or trying to say that I'm better than anyone else. It's just I think that what people aren't doing sometimes, or what people are doing, is trying to distract themselves or distract other people from bad problems or hurtful problems, and then they can find ways to facilitate things in other ways. Like it's a conservative way to look at a liberal problem, I guess, or a liberal way to look at a conservative problem. It's just like trying to be on the opposite, but trying to. So either way, basically, have a good day, and I'm not doing this for likes or stuff. I'm doing this for the conversation. Thank you, Genius at Work, and thank you, Death Do. Have a good day, and I need to go to my doctor's appointment, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, have a good day. Woo! You are your own one-man bomb squad, and yeah. All right.